Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hotsport. We're actually live today. We are trying something brand new. Last second thing, because it just got very late while I was recording my videos. Other videos are out, by the way. Oops, bit of a shake of the screen there. Other videos are out, by the way. Anton's tiers for this week. I also gave marks for the midway point of the season for all 20 clubs. We did upset alert already, so we've already predicted how I think the games are going to go. This is my under pressure segment. This is one of my favorite videos that I do every single week. But it was getting late, and the game kicks off between Villa and Forest, if anybody cares, in the next hour and 45 minutes. I don't want to be on this live too long, but at the same time, if the people come out here and that's what they want, that's what we will do. So yeah, this one's a little bit of a different. I'm trying something new. We'll see if that develops at all. I've sent out a live invitation to many people if they wanted to hop on. In fact, what I'm going to do, because this is such a big topic, I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it. I am going to post the link in the live chat. Have your say. And I'm going to pin it. I'm also going to pin it, guys, to the top of the screen. If anybody wants, here you go. To the top of the chat. So if anybody comes on in, yeah, open, love to hear your thoughts. This is the first time I'm trying anything like this, just for the people. I really hadn't, been able to put my name to the face, guys. Make sure you are hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. All right. Boom. I got you right there. Hitting the like button. Actually, I want to, for a Hotsport, I want to change the style. Hit the like button, people. Here we go. Yeah, we're doing a live stream of one of my babies. This is Under Pressure, and so we're just gonna get going. I've sent invites to many people. If you guys would like to also comment in the chat is open. We are here, for a little bit, maybe half an hour to an hour maximum, because I got to get to bed because Arsenal's playing Bournemouth, and I cannot miss out on that. So literally, it's a free for all. It's a call in. If anybody wants to talk, we will get into the topics. Obviously, hopefully that will lick your things. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and I'll just chat, and I'll be doing my regular show as I always do. So, but I thought I would just kind of include the people this week, give you guys a chance if you want to. If it's there, if it's not, no hard done by. No, a fair game. To be honest, it's my show, and I like to listen to myself talk sometimes. Anyway, guys. It's time, everybody, for Under Pressure. All right, guys. So we are into the Under Pressure segment. We are live. It's the first time ever I've done an Under Pressure segment. This is generally pre-recorded. I do have had guests on here in the past. But I've never opened it up to the people. I've never opened up to the people before. So again, pinned to the top of the chat. If you guys want to come in, have your say. Honestly, seriously, Chelsea fans. If there are Chelsea fans out here, our main topic of the day, and it's crazy to call it Under Pressure because it's like post-mortem. Like it happened so fast. I didn't even see it coming. That I didn't even make it under pressure of knowing that this guy was on the hot seat at all. I had no fucking clue he was on the hot seat, and that is ENZO Maresca. And I'm gonna see if I can do Yeah, I'm gonna do the screen share here, but the way this news developed was kind of insane. So let's I do want to. This is the big. This was the big tweet, by the way, from Fabrizio Romano. I guess it's Fabrizio season now, so he kicked off the month of January in emphatic style. By the way, this was like shit that was going on earlier on the day. I can play you the Maresca Boom video that he had as well. It was shit was crazy. All right, let's do this. This was the Maresca Boom.
Breaking news, Enzo Maresca and Chelsea could part ways in the next hours or days, but the relationship is really deteriorating between the English club and the Italian manager. So keep an eye on this situation, very, very, very tense between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea, a situation that should be followed in the next hours because after the draw against Bournemouth, Enzo Maresca didn't do any press conference. The situation was already tense at that time between the manager and the club, and also many problems in the recent months, starting over the summer transfer window. Maresca wanted a new centre-back. When Levi Colwill suffered an ACL injury, Chelsea decided not to proceed. The club had different ideas. Maresca had his own ideas, so complicated months behind the scenes. But now, keep an eye on the situation, because between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea Football Club could be over very soon.
So yeah, that
breaking news.
That was quickly followed up by, you know, as we can go back to this, it's over. And the tweet from Fabrizio was breaking: Chelsea and Maresca agreed to part company with immediate effect. It is over. Official statement to follow. They're all done after tension growing the last 24 to 48 hours. Chelsea will now start working on a new manager appointment. This was the Fabrizio follow up. The video that he posted on his Instagram after the news broke.
Officially, it's now confirmed Enzo Maresca leaves Chelsea with immediate effect, and the club and the manager decided to part ways. I told you in the last 24 hours, the situation was really tense, really difficult between Maresca and Chelsea already for weeks, for months. It's been complicated behind the scenes, and now it's over between Chelsea and the Italian manager Enzo Maresca. Chelsea will get a new manager very soon. It's not going to get a long time, weeks or months. Chelsea will make a permanent appointment very soon with Strasbourg manager Liam Rosenior among the most appreciated candidates.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next thing, which is obviously, and I'm pretty sure that we'd have a tweet from Fabrizio as well regarding Liam Rosenior. Rosenior. Liam Rosenior. Let's see, it has to be here somewhere. Chelsea will appoint new manager in the next very, very soon. Not going to take weeks, a long time. The club is now working on it. Liam Rosenior is highly rated internally after excellent job at Strasbourg. Big up Dave, my main man Dave. He goes, Anton couldn't get me on, so he got Fabrizio on. Now I know the level you have, Anton. Very funny, my friend. Yeah, no, I did invite David on first. Such a great show and concept. Yeah, dude. I love this show, David. You know much to love this show, and this is the first time I've ever gone live with it. Like, this is my baby. This is one of the video's original concepts that I protected with my heart and my soul. And I've even given, permission. I've put a live comment, in the live chat, pinned it for anybody to come on and have their say on the topic, because I think it's a massive topic. I think generally I wouldn't do this. Had time to kill before the Villa game, and procrastinated on my video making. So I'm like, you know what, might as well just go live. And so that was sort of the idea. But yeah, big ups to you, Dave. Would have loved to have had you on, because, man, David has, when he speaks from the heart, and he doesn't mince his words. And it's a big topic. And by the way, Maresca had been linked as well with a Man United job, which there are people who are alluding to the fact that, you know, there might be a domino effect involving what's his name? Your manager. Oh my God, I've literally gone blank. This is actually crazy. My God, this. Everyone knows that I know the name of the manager because I've spoken about him 1,000 times. His name's just come out of my head. It's actually fucking crazy. Ruben Amorim. Yeah, so there might be a knock-on effect with Ruben Amorim, potentially. Yeah, I know. David, you're probably laughing. Like, how the fuck did Anton forget Amorim's name live on stream? Literally, that's one of my worst moments. But anyway. It's all good, all good. So Rosinia, that's an interesting link. Here he goes. He remains leading candidate in the shortlist to become Chelsea head coach. He's highly rated by Chelsea hierarchy, as revealed weeks ago. Main candidate, as reported today. RC Strasbourg's assessing replacement if CFC proceed. Now, I'll be on soon, so I couldn't come out last minute. Maresca wasn't perfect. In this, also, imagine if Arteta was having interviews with Man City. Well, I think that's where it kind of stems from. There's so much to it. Like, I've heard a lot of the Chelsea side of it, which is, you know, really attacking Blueco and saying, look, hey, you know, Blueco and Clear Lake only want to have yes men. And, you know, Pochettino stepped out. He started saying how he wanted things. He was at the door. And then the minute Maresca started asking for things, he was at the door. I think there's many truths behind that. And I think that in terms of the transfer policy and everything, I think the manager has no say in it. I mean, clearly, because, you know, the bomb squad, as they like to call it, all the players that they have in their squad that just they couldn't even get rid of. They just sit there, make money, and train separately. You know, that is a evidence of that. Because they never buy players to suit the manager, which is why I think there's a massive flaw in the Chelsea system, in the way that it is run. I feel like this is a first-time operation, the first time they really run a club outside of, a football club. Then they've got, you know, Strasbourg, who's now the baby and the feeder club now, if you will. And yeah, Rosinia, the Rosinia link is just weird for me. Like, okay, well, we can't properly, you know, try to find ourselves a good manager, a world-class manager. We're not willing to wait, get an interim, and then go for a big fish. That's clearly not what Chelsea's about. Because if Chelsea really wanted to in the past, they would go after the big fish. Remember, Jose Mourinho managed this football club. For me, still the greatest ever at Chelsea. They've had some big names. I just mentioned Poch. You know, Poch was with Chelsea. There are many other ones. Sarri and Conte. Like we've had like Ranieri. So many. Avram Grant. We're way back in the day. You know, they've had many managers, high-profile managers. But that was under Roman. And with Clear Lake, they clearly don't care. Like, hey, let's just get the guy from Strasbourg. No experience at a job of this magnitude. To be honest, he looks like a guy who's out of his depth, in all honesty. I think it's crazy that this is who the hiring. And he's right. From day back, I'll pull up David's comment back up again, right? Maresca wasn't perfect in this because Ornstein, this is not just like this is like some conspiracy theory. Ornstein, and let me go all the way back. My God, that's David Ornstein. We're gonna do the search on the Twitter. David Ornstein, ENZO, because this was a tweet that this is one thing I love, and if everybody's gonna see me on the tear, especially during transfer time, I am a bit of a detective. I like to get to the bottom of the situation to really learn the truth. Because to be honest, I'm no expert in the Chelsea situation. I'm not a Chelsea fan, which is, by the way, Chelsea fans, the link is there, pinned to the top, as I'll remind everybody again. if you want to come on and have your say, especially if you're a Chelsea fan at this juncture of the show, because there are going to be other topics. We'll be talking about my favorite topic, Victor Gyökeres, again, because people can't stop fucking talking about him and criticizing his performances. Just leave the guy alone. But as long as he won't, it comes up on, what's trending and the topics that need to be brought up. We'll also talk about Man City. We'll talk about a potential transfer of Semenyo. Will he be playing today against Arsenal? I've got an interesting take on the Semenyo. I think I've had it before on this show prior, but I think this is a bit different kind of with how things have started to progress there. So that's all on the docket on this show. But Maresca, we're going to be spending at least 50% of the show trying to be detectives and figure out kind of what went wrong here. I know there are plenty of clips we can show them on Sky, but to be honest, let's be fair, right? There's so much damn PR when it comes to these football clubs. They lie. Man, they make part ways. They're going to lie to make it look the best it is in their interest. The truth never always comes out. So whatever the explanation is, but we'll go through some of the clips, the explanation. But this is the one, December 18th, 2025, guys. Exclusive from David Ornstein. Enzo Maresca, high among candidates for the Manchester City job. I'm pretty sure I actually had an Under Pressure featuring Enzo Maresca because of that news earlier. And that is kind of where I feel like this whole thing started from. But maybe there's a bit of I feel like there's a bit of a power play. I'm actually trying to put it together. I'm actually putting it together. I think there's a bit of a power play from Maresca, and it went into his face. I think Maresca knew he wanted to have more say at Chelsea. I think that the more I think about it, the more that I see how this is played out, I think he's represented as someone leak that story to put pressure on Chelsea to be like, hey, look, Man City, the most successful club in England over the last decade, wants me to replace Pep. I think that is like a power play. Sometimes, you want to get yourself a promotion, or you want to get yourself a pay rise. What you're going to do sometimes is going to put the fish out there, be like, hey, look, there's another company. They're interested in me. They're willing to pay me X amount to put the pressure on your current employers. For more I read into the lines, I feel like this is what happened. But of course, when you do that, it takes risks, because sometimes the employer calls your bluff and goes, hey, whatever, good luck to you. You can go there. And then if you are lying, you're left jobless. So it was a risk taken. And that, I believe, is kind of what's gone on here with Maresca. But just again, there's no proof behind it, because again, I will play you clips about what has been said by the media in response. There's a Dharmesh Seth, I believe, not Dharmesh Seth, the other guy at Sky who kind of broke this down. I don't want to go through that for too long. But again, I just think that's all media feel stuff. I want to know the truth behind this. So again, Cal and I were talking about this last night. I think what Cal says makes sense. I think this is the general consensus among the Chelsea fans. And I think this is a bigger, wider issue. This is an ownership issue, because Clear Lake clearly want to run everything in some way, right? The manager has zero say whatsoever, I believe now. As we've said, we've already laid out the examples. Same thing basically happened to Poch. I thought that you could see the improvement after a really tough year with Pochettino at Chelsea. You could see the improvement at the end. He got them into the European places, or just missed out on the Champions League. But I think they got into, obviously, the Conference League because they went on to win it. But from a really, really tough position, they were really poor. Palmer was banging. He was becoming a good player. I was like, you know what? I remember being in a pub after there was a night I was out. The last game of the season, Arsenal were playing against Everton at home. There was potential of us maybe winning the league. Of course, City beat West Ham, and they won the league. But it was that Latin day, and I was at the pub just in case. I wanted to be there with a huge amount of Arsenal fans to see if that would happen. But one of the Arsenal fans pulled me to the side at the end because, oh, well, hey, Anton, I watch your show. But shout out. But I get happens to me more often than you think for such a small channel of only 650 something subs now. And at the time I was way less, like maybe 200 something. And someone goes, yeah, hey, Anton, by the way, just want to let you know, like, I think that Chelsea is going to be a real shout for being a really good team next year. I think they're really building something under Pochettino. Well, about a week, 2 weeks later, Poch was out. So, there was clearly a dispute there. And, yeah, I just think something that feels off because I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans really rip into Maresca for the rotations in certain games that just felt really random, fairly off. The lineups are never right. Even with Pochettino, the lineup was never right. And by the way, with Poch, I mean, he's got a history of being at Spurs and with PSG where he didn't play odd lineups. He played his best guys. Tottenham's greatest squad for me in my lifetime was under Poch, and he played a consistent team, with Harry Kane leading the line, and you had Eriksen in there, and Dele Alli was in that team, and I think Kyle Walker for a certain period of time, and many other ones that, of course, have just popped out of my head right now because I'm in the middle of a live stream. But that wasn't necessarily a stop. I just feel like they're being instructed. Clear Lake is saying, hey, you're going to play XYZ today. Clear Lake is saying, hey, we're going to sign XYZ to the sporting directors who are up there, I think, a little bit, as puppets, to be fair. I smell a rat. And by the fact that they've gone and Rosinia is the guy they're going for me, sets off alarm bells. Like, this is something is going on. Oh, they've been grooming him. I've been told, oh, they're grooming him for the job. Oh, great. Like, I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm not quite sure what that means. You're going to groom him for the job and sack your manager. By the way, I'm going to come at from this angle just because I'm going to defend the man who won you 2 trophies, right? Had you in a position, I feel like this was really weird, had you in a position where you had just drawn against Arsenal, you were 3 points off the top, right? I had you I had them as a title contender, and all of a sudden the weird changes happened away at Leeds, and things have fallen off the map. Things have gone sour. You had the links with him to City, and I feel like, again, I felt that was a bit of a power play. There are so many things in this part, and yeah, I'll bring up David again. David is an amazing content creator, and yeah, I will wanting to have him featured on this show more often because he is literally box office and one of my close friends. And he goes, yeah, imagine if Arteta was having interviews with Man City. That's bang on. Like, imagine if, City be like Chelsea are top 3, right? They weren't far off of Man City. In fact, I think at the time they were ahead of City in the race, right? Before, when they played Arsenal, I believe City were still behind Chelsea in the title race. Chelsea were second. I said, hey, Chelsea are our main contenders, are they? Because there was a time when I was like, City's form was off. They had just lost to Newcastle, by the way, as well. And I'm like, whoa, something is a bit fishy here. Like, why is he being linked with a team that's he's competing against? We're going head to head with City in the title race. If all of a sudden I hear, oh, Arteta is on the short list for the Man City job, I'd be pulling my hair out. I'd be thinking City are trying to sabotage our title, but I'd be like, my opinions of Arteta would change completely. Because I'd be like, hey, we've been trying to take down these guys. I've been backing you. These guys have stood in your way of a potential amazing Arsenal managerial legacy, and now you're going to jump ship and replace Pep. I mean, I know for sure Man City would want him for more. I know for sure that if they had the chance, they would snap up Arteta in a second to replace Pep. But that's not been the case, obviously. But yeah, I think there are many sides to every story. One thing I'm like with most people when I have any, talking to friends or asking for advice or speaking about anything is I like to tend to try to put myself in the shoes of both sides to give both people perspective on what is going on. And I think that's key. So I think I'm going to try to put it through the perspective of Chelsea for a second. I don't know what Maresca has been saying. I don't know what's been going on. Maresca could be, making threats about maybe leaving the city, or maybe they don't like the idea that he's going to City and it angered them. And they're like, you know what? You want to fucking leave? Go fucking leave. If Pep's available in 6 months, well, you can go take the City job. For now, you're unemployed. I can understand that. I could also understand the Maresca side, which is like, look at the signings that they have signed. It's like they don't bring anybody big. Don was saying this today earlier. Like, they could have really improved the side. Old Chelsea side. Like Chelsea, when they want players, they get players. They throw the money at it. They outbid. I've experienced it as an Arsenal fan firsthand. And with this ownership, with Bowley, I think when Clearlake started to, have a little bit more of power over their operation than Todd Bowley himself, I think you started to see a change in strategy. But the young project, the using Strasbourg as a feeder club, the constant. I feel like they buy young players all the time, and it's like just at the point where they really need start adding an extra edge to their squad where they can really start to challenge. And it's like they don't do it. They refuse. Like on the flip side, you see when teams are really going at it. Liverpool, look at Liverpool's investment this summer. Again, it didn't work out. But they're like, hey, we're in the title window. Salah and Van Dijk, we don't know how much longer time they've got left. While we're in this opportunity, let's go get our Isak. Let's go get our Verts. Let's go get a Ekitike. Let's go get, Kirkes and Frimpong, and let's throw everything at this and see if we can make something happen. Win back to back or whatever. Arsenal been knocking on the door for years. We made 8 signings. We finally got our striker. We got Eze. We needed a game changer. We went and got Eze. We wanted a Zubimendi profile players. We were losing Partey, we're losing Jorginho, and I think Zubimendi was always the guy that we wanted to go and get. Change the dynamics, be able to control games, be able to have a better, deeper, creative player. It's like Zubimendi, a conductor who can work perfectly with Odegaard and allow Rice to go forward. We went already a great defense. We added in Capier and we added Mosquera. That's a team that's going after. They know we want to win the title. Now, Chelsea, I feel like, for instance, they sell players to us, which I feel is weird, right? That's been happening under Clearlake. Yearly. I always feel like they used to send us players at the back end. Like when we did business with Roman, he chucked us fucking Willian and David Luiz, right? It wasn't the players that have impacted Arsenal positively the way they have, all of them. I know that we get a lot of criticism for doing business with Chelsea, but as far as I can see, since Clearlake started with Jorginho was a critical part to our squad, right? We got Kai Havertz. You see, again, that one started out slow, but he's become one of our 10 favorite player, a critical part to Arsenal's team. We got Kepa, who's served us very, very well so far as the backup keeper. And Madueke has been the answer to our backup to Saka problem that we've had for so many years. And we'll just give it to him. Chelsea's like, here. And these aren't players at the back end. This isn't Willian. This isn't David Luiz. This isn't Petr Cech, right? These are like players who are still like Jorginho gets a little bit on the back in his career. Like now he's in Brazil, right? But the other ones, Madueke for me was the weird, and Havertz. Those are weird. Again, they maybe not value them anymore, whatever. But you don't sell to rivals. If there's a chance of this player, if you think this player could be good, you don't give him to Arsenal. I always thought that was bizarre. Like, there's so much. I've gone back on this Chelsea thing so many times that I've criticized it, and then I've kind of shut up because they've started to progress. But once they start to progress, then you need to hit the button and be like, let's take ourselves to the next level. Let's move to the next level. Let's take this shit to the next level. And they just haven't done it. They just have not done it. Now let's listen to some of the extra videos. There are a few fan content out there, but I want to hear the Enzo Maresca explained here on Sky Sports. I can't remember the name of the personality here. Cave Soliacol, that's right. Cave Soliacol. I'm gonna try to see if there's a natural breaking point. I don't want to be stuck here for so long. We're half an hour into the show. At the end of the day, we do have a match in about 6 hours, and I gotta get some beauty sleep beforehand. But let's see this little segment here on Sky.
This is what the club have had to say in a statement. Chelsea Football Club and head coach Enzo Maresca have parted company. During his time at the club, Enzo led the team to success in the UEFA Conference League and the FIFA Club World Cup. Those achievements will remain an important part of the club's recent history, and we thank him for his contributions to the club. It continues.
By the way they phrase this right away, it's if it wasn't for the fact that we have Fabrizio Romano's and David Ornstein's and Ben Jacobs's, like, it would be like, imagine back in the day where we had no social media, where Sky was where we were getting our info. Like, Sky used to be God for me. Sky's fallen way down the pecking order, but they used to be, the source for everything, right? Sky was before there was a Fabrizio. So I get it. Chelsea got a history, but this team was third at the beginning of the month, second at the beginning of the month, excuse me. Right? So where's Chelsea at the table? They're on 30 points. So 15 points off the top. So yeah, again, it has been a dramatic thing. And so one thing we do need to keep into context, though, is that there have been a lot of Chelsea fans, like Elijah on the Terrace, I've been on a few streams with, who has been very, very, very worried about, critical of the manager, in recent weeks, because it has been a big fall. Let's take you back. I want to go, maybe I can actually bring it up, the Premier League table. I think they have this option where you can kind of like take it back. Yeah, so we're kind of going in and out here, but where you can take it back. So let's go all the way back. When did Arsenal play Chelsea? This was, I think it was match week 15. No, match week 14. Match week 15 was the stupid one with the Aston Villa. The last time I went on live on Hotsport, actually, to be fair. All right, match week 14. This was the table. Okay, Chelsea on 24 points. Okay, 9 points behind Arsenal. Wait, what? Oh, that's because what happened? Match week. No, that was because they lost to Leeds. Oh, okay. Let's go to match week 12 before the Arsenal game, actually, right? Arsenal on 29 points, Chelsea on 23 points. Okay, so that's where we were at. Because, then we had the draw. Chelsea had just beaten Burnley. By the way, they had beaten Barcelona in that spell as well. And that's where they were at match week 12. Match week 13, we move it along. Next one up. Right? Draw with Arsenal. 6 points behind. Okay, then City go ahead. By a point because City beat Leeds. That was the last second goal from Foden. See, this is how long ago, right? But let's see how this table progresses, because then you have to go from the other side. This is the other Chelsea point of view here, which may make the news a little bit less shocking. We're looking at it all angles. Match week 14, they lose to Leeds. 3-1 away from home. Like after 1-1 with Arsenal, all of a sudden 3-1. And this was the lineup. I think this is one thing to highlight. The lineup for Chelsea that day was Sanchez, Cucurella, Badiashile, Tosin, Chalobah at right back, Andre Santos, Fernandez, Esteval, João Pedro, Gittins, and Delap. On the bench that day was Cole Palmer, Jarrell Hato, Reece James, who, by the way, was just magnificent. Of course, Caicedo was suspended, which played obviously a big part. But yeah, they lose to Leeds. All of a sudden now they're 9 points off the top of the table. Let's go to match week 15. Now, of course, Arsenal lose in match week 15. So, here we go. Also lose in match week 15. Chelsea draw 0-0 with Bournemouth. That's right. And now they are 8 points. Okay, so they've made it. It's now an 8-point gap. City have cut the lead, of course, to 2 at this point. Moving on, match week 16. Boy, this is all develops pretty quickly. We're already now in the month of December. Match week 16. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. So Chelsea got a win. 8 points off the top. All right. Match week 17. We move. That's right. 2-0 down against Newcastle. They come back to draw 2-2. I thought that was a great effort, but it was a draw. Arsenal, of course, beat Everton with a Victor Gyökeres penalty, which means Arsenal opened the gap over Chelsea, specifically in this thing, to 10 points. So I'm trying to see how it kind of like slipped. But yeah, the form has not been great. Let's move on to match week 18 now. Match week 18. Arsenal beat Brighton 2-1. Chelsea lose to Villa. Right, here we go. Chelsea were 1-0 up. 1-0 up against Villa. They actually looked really good. Again, some of the football in some of these periods were really, really good. That's part of it, like, just as in terms of even last week. And then, of course, the game we just played, and this is what takes you to live. Match week 19. Chelsea draw 2-2 with Bournemouth. Second draw with Bournemouth in the space of a month. Last day of the year. William Esteval got man of the match. 2-0 up. No, sorry, it was 1-0 down, right? 2-1 up after Enzo scored. Kluivert scored, and then they couldn't break down Bournemouth after that. Cup Chasers, what's up, Anton? Hey, it's my boy Jake. Hey, Jake, bro, I have left the link in the live stream. If you want to come, on the live chat, I pinned it to the live chat. If you want to come on, and talk, bro, you are more than welcome. You are a star, my friend. And if you want to come out here and chat, Maresca. Give me your thoughts. We're going to chat, all the other topics. Here he comes. Here we go. Our first caller of the day. It's actually, let me feature him. I need to bring him into here we go, this space. Hey, Jake, what's going on, my friend? How's it going? Welcome to Hotsport. Your new debut on my show.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. I woke up and I was like, I wonder if Fire Them Cannons was on.
No, Fire Them Cannons was on yesterday. So
yeah, it came on. I was like, oh, hey, all right, I'll hop on this.
Yeah, so yeah, the first time I've ever gone live. This is my baby. This is Under Pressure. This is like an original concept that I've come up with. Nobody does this on YouTube, so this is my big thing. I generally just record this pre-record, and now we're doing it live for the first time.
Yeah, I've seen an episode of this.
Yeah.
I have seen one episode.
At the moment, we're talking about Maresca's sacking from Chelsea. Bro, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, it's rinse and repeat, right? It's clear that somebody, whether that's Bowley or Igbali or whoever it is trying to play football manager, trying to say, nope, we have. What I really think it is at the very root of the problem is that they gave all these contracts and they promised all these things in these contracts, like minutes, appearances, and now someone is in the background managing, okay, this guy's got this many minutes and this guy's got this many minutes, but we need to hit it. And so they're phoning in to Maresca, yo, I need this guy to play, or I need this guy to play. And he's like, no. But and then they're obviously going back and forth. And so he's fed up with it.
Yeah, look, for me, I'm trying to play detective here. One thing I love to do, especially when it comes to transfer season, I actually basically pieced together all 8 of Arsenal signings before they happened, by just doing investigation and looking at where the cookies were. If you remember, I don't know if you ever watched that on the Terrace. I was on with Terry, and I literally sat there for half an hour, and I was like, yeah, I think we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. I think I was 1 off. I think I had 2 off, actually. I think I had Rodrigo going. I thought Rodrigo at the time I didn't have Madueke, and I had Hato instead of Nkapie, but the concept was there. Like the Eze would come in with the Gyökeres, with like the whole thing. And so that's completely besides the point. This is kind of, I'm looking at it thing from all angles, right?
Right.
So we have a few breadcrumbs. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna review, right? So the first breadcrumb in this thing, because I was just going through their recent form, right? So if you think about it, when it came back from before they played us, they were 6 points off the top, a chance to go cut it to 3 if they beat us at the bridge, right?
Right.
And they did go 1-0 up. And so at one point on the live table, in the early second half of that game, it was cut to 3. And since then, they have 1 win since then against Everton. Right?
Yeah.
And it was just
Everton
like
before
the very
that.
next game, I think what you're saying, there's evidence of what you're saying, I think, to be true. That lineup he played against Leeds right after that was perplexing. It was very perplexing. Like, you thought they was going to capitalize off that momentum and some of those players playing. Of course, Caicedo couldn't play because he was suspended. But
they rested James too.
They rested James. They had. I'll go back to that lineup again. They rested James. Wait, this is match week 14. Yeah, so the lineup in this one, right? It was that Palmer was on the bench in this game. Neto was on the bench in this game. Neto, who's always playing for them, right? Reece James.
Palmer had just come back though. Palmer wasn't
Gusto was on the bench, and Reece James was on the bench. So the backup right back wasn't available, wasn't starting him either. Garnacho was. So the starting 11 was Sanchez, Cucurella, Badiashile, who was literally in the what they call the bomb squad.
Yep.
Revived. Tossin, Chalobah playing their best centre back really this season, playing at right back when they have 2 right backs on the bench, right?
Yeah, that was weird too.
Santos and Enzo made sense because Caicedo was suspended. But yeah, Gittins, Pedro, Esteval comes off gets the hook at halftime. Delap starts. Okay, some of that makes sense, but the defense and everything made 0 sense.
I think one big thing that's hurt them, this project overall, is that while, yes, it's about flipping players, we all know that like the bread and butter of the model is about making money from increasing the value of assets, just like any venture capital firm is going to do. But then there have also been the ones where they've tried to hit home runs and it hasn't come off. Yes, Caicedo is worth 100 mils, of course. Enzo's not, man. And he plays all the time. And I think he's letting them down. He's supposed to be one of their superstars, and he's just not up to the $100 price tag.
At the same time, a new report, by the way, Chelsea are approaching talks for Eddie Howe as Rosignol alternative. What's the source, Johnny? By the way, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for the comment. What's your source, bro?
I was listening to the kickoff yesterday.
That would be insane because you know what? Eddie Howe himself has been under pressure.
Exactly. Yeah. Newcastle fans aren't happy. I've seen some Newcastle fans online that are not excited.
I can get it up. Hold on. All right. Bring it to me. Who's the source? Because to be honest, Johnny, I'm just going to be upfront with you. That's really important. If it's some nobody source,
If it's some Twitter troll, then it's just whatever.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm seeing it. Team Talk, Top Skill Sports. Wait, there must be more behind that. Wait, let me look it up myself though. But Johnny, get it up for me if you can. Eddie Howe. See, again, that's going to go against kind of my conspiracy theory if that were to be the case.
Well, the thing about it is, some people have told them no. Remember, Nagelsmann told him no in a couple of years ago, but Rossigna can't. Right. Matisse was talking about it yesterday. How the guys, he's the coach of Strasbourg, Rossigna or whatever his name is, Rossigna.
Team Talk was it, and there are a few more. Yeah, I'm seeing that Team Talk being the one. Team Talk is football transfer news from around the world and told by our exclusive sources. Trying to see anything else. What have they broken in the past? Aston Villa aiming to rescue Man City forward in January. Is they saying that Marmouche to City? Again, this is the type of stuff that they bring on. Some of this is a bit. West Ham hopeful of securing signing of third attacking star this month. Well, actually, that one came true. Okay, interesting. Because they did sign a few strikers. Man United told out agonizingly closely where to landing Semenya. Okay, a lot of this stuff seems a bit tabloidy to me, to be honest. But sometimes, look, this is what happens sometimes with this stuff. A source like this comes out, and then it starts to gain momentum, and then later on in the day, you get a Fabrizio tweet or an Ornstein tweet or a Benji. One of the big journos picks it up. If that starts to happen, that's when you know. Like when happened, of course, a lot of the time with Arsenal. Like when the Gyökeres stuff started breaking, that we chose Gyökeres over Sesko. It started off really quietly with a Portuguese source, and then that, oh hey, he doesn't want to go to Man United. He's picked Arsenal, and then as the day goes on, all of a sudden you got boom exclusive from Fabrizio. So I remember also right after we announced it, Mendy, a Portuguese source was saying, I believe it was BBC Portugal, saying, hey, Gyökeres is going to go to Arsenal, and all of a sudden, yeah, we are. What team do you? You're a Chelsea fan, man. Yeah. By the way, Johnny, if you are more than welcome to come on and have your say on your club. By the way, the link is in here. This is the first time.
He says, "Oh, you're both Arsenal fans."
Call-in show for anybody. Yeah, because I want to know from a Chelsea fan. I'm literally desperate.
I love it. He goes, "Oh,
the Chelsea
you're
perspective."
both Arsenal fans.
Yeah, but you know what? This is Jake. This isn't Jake's platform. Jake's on lovely surprise. But this channel is not an Arsenal channel. I built this channel to be one day a big network. Where we're talking about everything.
Absolutely.
I don't see
important to differentiate the Hotsport from Fire Them Cannons.
Yeah, correct. Hotsport was my thing first. It was a great opportunity for me to talk about Arsenal more, because I felt like on this I'm talking about everybody, so I don't really get a chance to really zero in on Arsenal. I want to create a platform where like everybody can talk. We can talk about everything. So for all those who think I'm super fucking biased, this is the type of channel that I've created so that I can just chat about everything. But we will talk about Arsenal on this show as well coming up. I don't want to take too long on the Maresca, but I want to get back to the conversation I was trying to make. I'm going to bring this one back up onto the stage. My screen share. We're removing Enzo from the stage. Yeah, I was going through the history of how all the table was looking, but
yeah,
it's crazy how it's gone. They're 15 points behind, and 1 point. They were 6 points behind. All right. I want to take it from this because David brought a really good point in here earlier, and to pull up David's chat of the day so far, right? And he brought it home with me with the Arteta thing, right?
Oh yeah.
How about this conspiracy theory? And I want to hear. I'm gonna bring it to you, and I want to hear what you say, right? Like many times there are people, you're working for a job, but you're feeling like you're dead here. There's not much room for growth. Your pay isn't that good, but there's an opportunity potentially that comes up, or you bluff the opportunity. There's two different ways, because I feel like the way that things have panned out now, first of all, I thought it was like a Man City sabotage. The more things have panned out, the more I'm thinking that there's something else going on, that it could have been leaked by a person in the Maresca team. It's for me the equivalent of, hey, going to your boss, like, hey, I'd like to get a pay rise. Oh no, sorry, we can't pay you right now. Oh well, there's another business that is very, very interested in me, and they're willing to pay me X amount. Two things could happen in that scenario. A, they're like, hey, you know what? We really value you as an employee. Here's your pay rise, or here's your promotion. Either way, or both. Or scenario two, which is why it's a big risk. They go, all right, call your bluff. Congratulations, I hope you enjoy your career at this new company. If the new company doesn't exist and you've just made that shit up, you're out on your ass.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like there could be an aspect of this because there has been reported, there's been tensions now between the two. You see it translates to their sudden drop off of a cliff of form. A lot of the stuff coincides, This was 2 weeks ago, I believe, the 18th of December, right? And for me, it's like, because what David says here about Arteta, the second part, resonates with me, which is Chelsea at one point were ahead of City in the table. Similar points at one point, right? They were considered challengers, so were City. Or what? I'm going to jump ship because one of my competitors is leaving? Wants me? In 6 months? Potentially? And maybe not even then? Because every time I've asked Pep if he's leaving, he tells you absolutely fuck no. Well, why do you keep asking me this question? So, but if it was Arteta, and we've been battling this guy's years and years and years, and we've been backing Arteta, and the one team that's kept him from being a legend, let's be honest, a legend of this club. If there was no Man City, Arteta's legacy would be up there with Arsene Wenger already, right?
Yeah, he would have won a bunch of stuff already.
He would have won 2 titles potentially, with a third on the way. Out of 4 years, right? That would have been the scenario. So if all of a sudden, they go, hey, Pep's leaving, by the way, and I would imagine that City, if they in their wildest dreams, would absolutely love for Arteta to be the successor to Pep. It's never going to happen because Arteta is about to dominate, in my opinion, the Prem with Arsenal. Why the fuck would I want to go and continue that shit City? Arsenal is, where he played as a player. But let's say he did that. Let's say he all of a sudden, hey, breaking news tweet, Man City have Arteta at the top of their list in terms of candidates. And we'd be like, what the fuck?
I'd be upset.
I would be so upset.
I would be very upset.
And maybe this is Chelsea's reaction. Maybe this is Chelsea calling out his bluff and be like, you know what? Sit on your ass for 6 months. You want the City job? Fine. We're gonna go move on with somebody else already. There's for me, when I talk about conflict in stories, I like to take everything from every different possible aspect. When I have 2 friends are coming at me and they're having a dispute, I like to give each side the perspective of the other side, because generally I've heard the other side. But like, hey, imagine being in this person's shoes. Maybe there's something that you're not doing correctly yourself. Maybe both people are at fault here. I definitely subscribe to the Clear Lake are being micromanagers theory. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's more facts to it than anything. Pochettino is your case in point. I remember I was at a pub the day that Arsenal didn't win the league. And a guy came up to me and he was like, oh, hey, are you Anton from Hotsport? I'm like, yeah. It's actually a funny, true story. At that time, I was like, what the fuck? You watch my show? I have like 20 fucking subs.
This is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Arsenal fan at a pub, right? And we were just talking, chatting, and he's like, you know what? You know who you think is actually going to be our biggest threat next year? Chelsea. I'm like, you mean not really? City? You think Chelsea? Yeah. Chelsea were building. They were. Palmer was looking good. And, Poch had them, at the back. It started off really rough, right? But they were building momentum at the end. About a week later after that conversation, he's out. Because the reports were that he wanted X, Y, and Z, and they wanted something else. So he was out, Maresca was in. And this story, what I've been hearing recently, sounds a lot like this, like the same shit. The other part to it is the Liam Rosinia part, which is like, oh, you know, we can just fucking get the guy from Strasbourg because obviously we're fucking Blue Co. And the whole thing smells to high heaven from that point of view as well. So, like, again, then there's the third point of view, which is the results have been shit. Because I saw this, right? And I was about to play this clip and I was halfway through it. And I was thinking about it from this perspective, right? This is the official statement from Chelsea. If back in the day before social media, and all of a sudden this news breaks, given, you know, what Chelsea been building, you'd be like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, no clue. Yeah.
This is weird. Look at the way they've worded this too.
Yeah.
It's like almost as if like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't match up. The only other thing I can think of is this is Chelsea and they've had a history of if things start to go pear-shaped, they jump ship right away. That's the only other, but this doesn't.
Yeah, but it's not the same Chelsea. Blue Co isn't Roman. It's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel the same. Here's the second part of the statement. With key objectives still to play for a cross-border competition, including qualification for Champions League football, Enzo and the club believe a change gives the team the best chance of getting the season back on track. So that is what they have, like, dressed it up as.
I may be reading between the lines, but that's incredibly scathing, if you ask me. I may be reading a little bit too much into this, but it's like, this is like the most respectful way they can say, yeah, thanks for what you did, but F off. You know, that's what it seems like. It seems like it's something they've made up because somebody's had a throwdown, drag out, you know, we've crossed this line and we're not crossing it back type of situation.
Wasn't there a game a few weeks ago where Enzo Maresca refused to come and speak to the press
The Bournemouth game, not the 2-2, but the 0-0.
Is it 0-0?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been shit going on for ages.
Well, then it was right after the Everton game. You know, he said, I've had the worst 48 hours of my life here at Chelsea.
Right.
That was after Everton.
I think there's so many sides.
It was so
to
random,
this.
And it came out of absolute nowhere. That came out of nowhere. I like, none of this was even on my radar until that comment.
I mean, nothing was on my radar until the Ornstein tweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, teams go through bad dips. I mean, if that's the case, Slot should have been out weeks ago.
Well, again, FSG aren't Blue Co. I call it the Bowley Shore, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the Bowley Shore for
sure. I'm a Dodgers fan, so again, Blue Co don't run the Dodgers. It's a new thing, right?
No, we do, bro. We own the Dodgers. The Cronkies own the Dodgers, man.
No, I thought Cronkies own the Rams. No way.
Yeah, they own the Dodgers as well, man. They own the Rams too. Yeah, bro. KSE is got a ridiculous amount of holdings, bro. I might be wrong.
How do KSE and Bowley in business together?
Are they? I didn't think they were.
Wait. Ownership.
Or no, Bowley Dodgers. You're right. My bad.
Bowley is the Dodgers. I'm like, bro, I'm a Dodgers fan. You're confusing the crap out of me. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know nothing about my own team. No. Bowley owns the Dodgers.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. Yeah. I got that confused. That's my
what's
fault.
the ownership group? This is a bit different. Oh yeah, Guggenheim Baseball Management. That's right, Mark Walter. That's right. So he's a partnership with Magic Johnson. Yeah, correct. That's right.
Okay,
Billie Jean King, the legendary tennis player herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a collaboration, which, by the way, Magic Johnson is fucking obsessed with, but a totally other topic for now.
Yeah,
Magic Johnson isn't. No, because he's also does the same thing with the Washington Commanders. But anyway, besides the point, like, that's, for me, he has moved further and further away in the Chelsea stuff. That's why he's got this Blue Co, Clear Lake, you know, they run the show for him. I think he's kind of like, all right, I've just invested in this team, whatever, you guys take it, and they've got this youth project, and it's weird. It's again, it's, as you said, it's a big turning cycle. I don't think it's going to get any better. And for me, I thought about two things, and I said this yesterday on Fire Them Cannons at the end, which was A, they play fucking Man City this week, and I'm going to get onto the impact, the knock on that. But B, hey, give me Leon Rosina over 2 legs to get myself in the Carabao Cup final. Give me this shit show over 2 legs. With Caicedo suspended for the first game, I'm rubbing my hands together.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing my best to not overlook it because I'm thinking, man, we're about to smoke them. I'm doing my best to not have that attitude, but it's like hard not to.
I mean, we're going to get an indication of what it's going to be like because today I imagine it's going to be Willie Caballero who will be in charge. By the way, it's funny because he used to be a backup for City behind
Willie Caballero didn't do the presser.
Who did the presser? I
don't
even know. So you don't even know the answer to this.
It was some random. I'd never heard of him in my life.
Because wasn't Caballero was the number 2? He's been the manager when Enzo's been off sick or suspended in the past. Yeah. Remember when Enzo Maresca got sent off?
It was Caballero.
Right? Do you think it's because Caballero would have left with him then? Wait, he was.
I think he has.
Chelsea for the Man City game. By the way, I want to move on past this topic to the next thing. Callum McFarlane. That's all. I think Caballero is part of the Maresca staff, and he's been hooked as well. Anyway, guys. Look, I wanted to get some more video reaction from Chelsea fans, but I'm over an hour now, and I haven't gotten to my other topics. So, this video is usually like about half an hour tops, but I wanted to do a live stream today because, so that's the first one. The next one on the list, by the way, now that I got you're going to enjoy this topic. We've discussed this on my podcast when you were on it a couple weeks back. People won't stop talking.
Still?
I mean, we won 4-1.
Still?
I was watching the Loose Cannons, and they spent about an hour and a half talking about this yesterday.
Really? I haven't watched the latest Loose Cannons yet.
Yeah. And but I'm going to come at it from a different angle, and I'm going to come at it maybe from the angle of the idea of this show, right? Our idea is Under Pressure. The original concept came from if you're American, have you watched First Things First?
I don't watch much more than sports and like old shows. I haven't heard of that.
So there's a concept Chris Broussard does called Under Duress. So the idea is like we're gonna put things under pressure, but it's with the idea of getting them to up their game. It's more of a motivational thing rather than there's goodwill rather than I'm going to rip into you. But I've changed it into a rip session because this is my guy. This is Victor Gyökeres. We are coming from the other angle. This is what me and Cal were talking about yesterday, and this is kind of what I want to come at for, and I want to hear your thoughts. Gabriel Jesus came off the bench and with less than 60 seconds banged, right? For me, I still wouldn't turn to Gabriel Jesus as a starter because I know it's not sustainable due to his health. I also know that, great, scored a nice banger. I know he'll start, if he starts today, and he'll give me 60 minutes of nothing and tame shots at the keeper in an away match where I don't know if he can sit in there and give me the commitment that I need on the defensive side of the ball and the press. I just don't think his body is up for that task. In the Cup, it's different. In the Premier League, where everything's more physical and the teams are the way they are, away, I don't trust it. But he did bang, nonetheless. Kai Havertz was sitting on the bench. Again, there's a process, I think, that he will come back. And I think within the next month or so, you're going to get both of those guys sort of up to speed and definitely within a shout of this conversation, which means the time is ticking for Victor, because I do think the manager is stuck by him. The manager, you can see the evidence that he is starting to make more of an effort of trying to get him the ball, but still it's not coming off for him now. Maybe it's just a case of one of those crosses comes in and he gives me a good finish. That Brighton chance last week, I thought that was the golden chance. I was like, yes, this is it.
Well, have you seen the PGMOL have come out and said that was a foul and should have been a pen?
Really? The Brighton one? You're talking about the Everton?
The Brighton one right before the handball, or the Everton one, excuse me, the Everton one, yeah. So he should have scored there too, but I still he was awful at first Brighton, man. Let's just have it right. He wasn't good.
The Newcastle one where Pope fouls him, he should have also got a goal and scored there as well. There's so many, by the way.
He was great versus Newcastle, though.
It's the one thing about Gyökeres for me.
He was fantastic versus Newcastle.
Yeah. If it's been a matter of inches and he could have reached the goal total that you would have expected him from. Brentford, take you back to Brentford. 1-0 up. We go break through Saka, right? Easily could have played in Gyökeres. At the end of the day, he scores, not complaining, but that easily could have been played through for Gyökeres. Aston Villa, the game that we lost, Matchweek. All I got to do is square that thing to Gyökeres instead of shooting and hitting the side netting. There's another goal from Gyökeres. By the way, a winning goal against Aston Villa would have been a great moment, but we would have avoided whatever the fuck happened after that. Which, by the way, is all is forgiven. We've moved on. We're 4 points clear. The sins have been erased. I love that there was a reverse of that because City played Sunderland that same weekend, won, closed the gap to 2. With the same opponents now, and the reverse, order restored. Which I love.
Back to 4. Yep.
But yeah, then there are a few. Again, you mentioned the Everton ones. We could have had a brace in that one, which would have been his 3rd for the season, right?
He's still our leading goal scorer in the Prem, despite all the noise. He's got 5 along with Trossard.
Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, I do think that the window is closing here, where he really needs to do something. I was saying to Cal, this would be ideal for me if. I don't know if Bournemouth is the game that this would happen in. Maybe Liverpool is more likely because they're more likely to have higher percentages of possession, right, when we play next week. But again, the people need to be realistic. We're playing Bournemouth, a team that has been winless in 10. That's almost over after starting really well to the season. Almost over a quarter of the season, they have not won a game, right? They're desperate. But I don't know if this is the game where we're going to get great, breakaway chances. Maybe we do. But I want to get one of those sporting balls over the top where all of a sudden Gyökeres is through on a counterattack and he could just slap it. Though like he scored over 50 plus times like that in Sporting. I want just one time. It's funny, he hasn't gotten it one time this year. He's gotten that. But if he could just have that, feel the confidence, put it in through his veins, maybe, that's all he needs to do, really, for me. Just do that. I think once he does that, at the end of the day, he didn't become shit overnight. He was a great player. He was a serial goal scorer. The rewriting of this Gyökeres thing to being like, oh, he's shit. He's a fucking awful footballer. Oh, man, he's the 4th best striker at the club, I've heard some people say, right? And for me, I think you're doing too much. If you, like I said to Takase, if you believe, hey, I want to see Jesus start, and that's all you want to say, fine. But if it's, I want Jesus to start because Gyökeres has been shit, that's when I have a problem with you. If it's, hey, I like Jesus, I think he offers this to the team. We're doing that. We tinker with the lineups all the time. We have these conversations every week about every player. It's nothing personal, but it's the way, the angle they go on it. But for me, I do feel that the clock is ticking on Victor, though. I do, even for me. Like, what say you?
Well, yeah, I agree that as the show is called, the pressure is definitely on him. I think that he's improved. He improved again. I thought he was good versus Villa, to be honest with you. Everything but the goal once again. I do think he should have scored at least one of those headers versus Villa. But personally, I'm like, for me, and not necessarily for Arteta, but for me, I'm happy with the work he's getting through, to be honest with you. I think he's improving, and I think he will continue to do so. As far as the situation with surrounding, Havertz and Jesus being back, I honestly think that Jesus might be the super sub for us this season. He might be what Trossard has been, because Trossard has upped his game as far as starting. And we used to say Trossard couldn't start and was way better off the bench. And now maybe Jesus has taken on that role because Trossard has been great from the start. But especially today, I expect another 70 minutes from Gyökeres. And then
I want you to be honest.
And then Havertz or Jesus.
I want 90. For one time, I want, because you know what? I feel sometimes you just need to kind of let him sit out there, because there's a 20 minutes where all of a sudden the dynamics of the game might change. There might be spaces that are open for him that weren't there in the first 70. Especially, let's say the game is tight, the other team is pushing for it. All of a sudden, they kind of come out of their shell. I just want to see it. Now, the other day when it was 3-0 up against Villa and he came off, I got it. I'm like, yeah, we're 3-0 up against Villa. Like, whatever, right?
I wouldn't mind that again.
Right. Yeah, I know. For some reason, I feel like this one is going to be, it's either going to be like, you know, like a really clinical away performance where we keep a clean sheet, or it's going to be one of those pain in the ass days. I still think it'll be a win either way.
I don't know, man. Bournemouth are. We've caught them at a good time again.
We're gonna get into the next topic, which I'm coming at something from an angle that I don't think anybody else has. So this is what I kind of try to do. I'm writing my own narratives sometimes, but yeah, with Victor Gyökeres, like I threw this question at Cal, and I'll throw it at you. Let's say this scenario, right? And of course, you know, this is going to give you anxiety, but let's say that, you know, it's a 2-point lead or a 1-point lead over City heading into our final game away at Crystal Palace. Man City is comfortably winning their game on the other side. And it's 0-0. Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 0. In that scenario, of course, Manchester City would win the Premier League. Last minute, 90 plus. Ball comes through. Victor Gyökeres scores. Gives you one of these and Arsenal win the Premier League. Are you going to give a shit about his dry run in November or December?
No, that could be the only goal he scores for the rest of the season, and I'll be happy. Dude, if we win the Prem, I don't care if Eddie Nketiah scored the winner. Dude, that doesn't matter to me. It's been way too long. I'm not like Yardman from AFTV where he's talking about, you know, you just got to have a performance and it's got to be, you know, up top. Every single game has to be an awesome performance. No, dude, win the league, man. I don't care. I don't care if it's 1-0, disgusting haram ball as they call it for the rest of the season, but we win the league. I'm over the moon. I'll lose my mind.
Well, again, we're getting a little bit off track to the reverse topic, but I guess this is the.
It don't matter to me, man.
Yes, Mishindra. Cool.
It don't matter to me. Yeah, if that's how it goes down and we win the league, I'm.
Oh, okay. All right. He's Okay, I realized that the only 3 watching wasn't a sarcastic thing. It was you're saying, guys, why aren't more people watching? Okay, I gotcha. All right. Yeah, no, big up, Mishindra. I was like, oh my, that's a bit mean. Yeah, no, this was a last minute unplanned live, so I wasn't expecting much out of it. It was like a story. I was just trying something different. To be honest, I took all day. I did 2 other videos today, and I wanted to get this video more views because I thought it deserved it. So I just went for the live. Yeah, no, dude, sit back, relax. I actually had had Jake in there, and then he's no longer watching because he's in it. So, and you can be too if you want to. I did put the. Anyway, what were we talking about? Victor Gyökeres.
You asked me if he wins the league.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
No, because for me, like that's what I was saying. Like my point is, everybody's just like losing their shit about Gyökeres. Or, hey, he was a waste, or he has not working out. By the way, like you say something about Eze, and I also will defend Eze. You know, I mean, Trossard's playing out of his mind, and Odegaard's back to his best form. You know, it's hard for Eze to even get in the team. I think he will start today, actually, because I think, you know, I don't know if Odegaard's going to start 3 times in less than 7 days and play as many minutes as he has. But we'll have to wait and see, because it is a a tight schedule. Aw. Okay, that was mean. All right, bye, man. By the way, joke's on you because other people have entered the chat. Anyway, see, this is why generally this video is done in private because I get to have my flow and anyway. Nah, all good. Yeah, this is why I don't want to close the door. Like there is a world, there's a variable where Gyökeres things start to click, and all of a sudden you've got one of the best. It is still me, Mishindra. You are interesting guy, my friend. Guy or girl? Because I don't know what gender you are. Privates.
Yeah, no, that's
all right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, cool. We'll end this. Well, I gotta go sleep before the Arsenal game. So, yeah, I won't be watching the Villa game. They're no longer concerned for me. All right. Big ups, my friend. Big ups. No, it's all cool. Good banter. Oh yes. All right. The redemption arc of Mishindra.
There it is. Mishindra. There he is.
All right. We might as well just move on to the next topic, to be honest, because we're going to move it along. But yeah, my main contention here is yes, I think the clock is running out on Gyökeres. I think that's fair. If this is a meritocracy, you can't just hold on. But I don't want to close doors. I don't want to kill his confidence completely. I don't want to sit him on the bench. There are many ways to look at it. You could be just make him fight for his place, which I think he's going to have to do naturally anyway.
I think the actual clock. I think the actual clock is Havertz's fitness. That's like the actual clock.
Because Havertz can play. I imagine he'll play for about 10, 15, 20 maybe today. He's going to slowly build himself up. But at the moment, well, as Arsenal fans always don't really understand when they get all this, triggery, be like, hey, start him now. I'm like, he needs to build up his fitness, bro. He's not ready for that. He's had setback after setback after setback. Live in the realms of reality. I feel like so many people don't live in the realms of reality, and it drives me nuts. Like, but yeah, look, again, there's a world, there's a variable where I think that Gyökeres, if he starts to find confidence, everyone's fucked because we're on 45 points.
Oh yeah.
Halfway through the season, and he hasn't even got going. That's what 100%. I'm saying. That's what managers, that's what clubs need to do. Same with Eze. That's another variable that can come. If Crystal Palace Eze all of a sudden starts to show up like he did at home against Spurs, and he starts scoring for me in cup finals and against Chelsea, and everyone's going to have their moment. That's why I don't like that we single out certain players, even in 4-1 wins, and be like, he was shit. For me, this is why it pisses me off more than anything, less than the man himself. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, it's Antoine Semenyo, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to be like, hey, why did I put Antoine Semenyo in here? All right. Well, clearly he's going to play today, which I find very interesting. So number one, everyone knows, his teammates included, his feet are halfway out the door. Bournemouth have lost 10 in a row, so it's not lost, but gone 10 without victory in the league, right? As well, I feel like City, this is where I feel like City have put Semenyo under pressure. And I was on live with Hamza yesterday after their game.
I watched some of that. Yeah, that was great. That was great stuff.
Yeah, it was cold outside. That's why we lost. That's what he was saying. Anyway, but in the middle of that rant, one thing that did stick out to me, I was literally just sitting there. I was in the panel, mostly keeping quiet to myself as much as I can, because when Hamza talks, it's very hard. It's very hard to talk. And also he'll go at you. He's a warrior, which I respect because I am one myself. But he did something that was really, really key and stuck in my head to me. They are desperate for wingers. Their wingers are really underperformed. Like Savinho, Savinho's going to be out, I think. He's really underperformed for reform. Mamouchi's away on duty. Shirky and Foden are basically on the 10, but one of them generally plays out wide. Bernardo played out wide the other day in that game. Like, they're struggling for width. And he literally said, we need fucking Semenyo. If Semenyo comes in here, You know, he's going to make the difference. We're going to have that wide presence, that attack that we always need, right? It's as if now, with a 4-point gap, that City have put all their chips in the table and hoping that this is the winning piece. A player who right now plays for Bournemouth. What I feel like by them not having pulled the trigger on the deal yet is being like, hey, before he leaves Bournemouth, how about he does us a favor, give him the motivation that he can help himself win a Premier League title with us in a few months' time before he even is a City player by beating Arsenal. For me, you got a player's halfway out the door. His teammates fucking don't care about him probably anymore. I don't know how it is, but for me, if I'm like, this guy's fucking doesn't believe in us, he wants to go fucking join Man City, fuck him. That's how I would be thinking.
That's how I would feel about it too, yeah.
Right? So like there's nothing in it for him now, this game, from a Bournemouth point of view, right?
Right.
But he's playing. What happens if he fucking gets injured in this game? I mean, to be honest, he's living off of the first 9 games of the season.
Deal might be off.
In the last 10 games of the season, he's not been great. Team's not been great, right? And by the way,
he featured in the 4-4. He scored.
Yeah. I know, but overall, he had Holland competitive type of GA in the first 9 games. That's nowhere near that. Sparked all of this, interest in him going to big clubs, because when we were looking at him in the summer, one of our targets was like, he's a bit underwhelming for me. I'd rather have a Rodrigo. I'd rather have an Eze. I'd rather have, a more high-profile winger than Semenyo. That feels like a bit of a backup plan for me. The narrative on him has changed. He was amazing this year. But I'm not sure
he works hard enough for Pep.
But I feel like City have put pressure on him before he's even there. First of all, I need you to fucking help us beat Arsenal. You're going to be my little secret weapon here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't even play for you guys. And afterwards, you're the piece. Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth, who no one knew who he was 2 years ago, is the piece. Not Foden, not Silva, not Marmoush, not Doku, not Savinho, not Shirky. No, you. It's a bit of a weird... And I know it came from Hamza, it didn't come from Pep. But then the fact that because Ben Jacobs said this deal is done in 24 hours. More than 24 hours is expired, and he's suiting up for Bournemouth. I'm like, nah. See, he's done this on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to maximize, What are your thoughts on my theory? Do you think Semenyo's under pressure here? Because he's going to have to perform. Semenyo has had no pressure. He's kind of carried a Bournemouth team, and they started off really, really well. But, I feel like he plays for fun. There's no title pressure. Difference playing for Bournemouth and having title pressure. Never been in a title race before, and all of a sudden you're my missing piece. But I want to hear your thoughts on it. I know you got to go soon, and we're going to move this along. But
no, I 100% think he's under pressure. And if it's not like officially the stance, I definitely think that somewhere City were thinking, let's just hold off and see what he can do against Arsenal. I don't necessarily think there's like somebody's said that to him, but it's there out in the ether, and I definitely think it'll be on his mind. And I think you're 100% right that they have heaped the pressure on him that he's never had before. And when he gets there, it'll go up an even another level, because I'm sure City training is going to be more intense than Bournemouth training. The prep work is going to be more intense. The off the field work is going to be more intense. And the way that I just don't think Semenyo works hard enough. That's why I don't think Arteta went for him, is because he's not going to play the defense. He's not going to give O'Reilly. He's not going to give O'Reilly or he plays right wing, doesn't he? He's not going to give Nunez the protection. So I don't know. We'll see. I know. Again,
I think that's you make up a great point. Like, why didn't Arsenal go for him? For me, by the way, I think Trossard's form comes into play. Mm-hmm. The fact that we have Eze in there, the Martinelli's form has been pretty fucking good. 5 from 5 in the champs. Again, he's great for Bournemouth. Comes into London Colney, might not even fucking play. Then we got another, Gyökeres as a situation where everybody, we sign a player and then we're going to fucking say that it didn't work out. Like, anyway, again, that's totally on the cards, but that's kind of just a point of view little thing. And the last thing I want to do is City. I've had Arsenal on this thing. I was also been the team under pressure, but I don't think we are. I think we have a great chance if we beat Bournemouth to capitalize, go 7 clear before they play Chelsea. But I think there's an extra little bit of thing here because Chelsea has been such a shit show, and you don't know the variable of it. Can you imagine if they don't beat this Chelsea without a manager? All of a sudden, the big blue shark would be 5 points at least behind. I think maybe 6 with a draw if they don't win. Right, 6, 7 with a defeat behind Arsenal with 18 games remaining, and like. They were breathing down our necks. We could feel it. I could feel it, right? But I think the fact that we got the statement against Villa, they dropped points to Sunderland, changes things a little bit more in our dynamic. The second half of the season, I think, for me, is a lot easier for us. We're going to have all of our big games at home. They're going to have most of their big games away. They're going to have some of the big. They have to go to Anfield. They have to go to Old Trafford. They're going to have to go to Stamford Bridge. They're going to. I mean, by that time, of course, I think Rosinia will be, if he's the man, well embedded in there. They're gonna have to go. They have to go to the big rivals away from home in the second half of the season. Some of the tougher away grounds from the other teams as well that we've had to go to. They're gonna have to visit. So plus us, they have to play Arsenal, right? I mean, they're gonna be there, but I do think though that this is a big statement, especially if we go 7 clear. Actually, even not. Like if we, regardless of the result, let's say we draw, right? There's a chance for them to redeem themselves against Sunderland, and they fuck up and they can't do it. And they're like, oh fuck, that's happened to Arsenal, where we've had a chance to redeem our error and then make another error.
Yep.
Or or we lose and they have a chance to get to 1. There's pressure on it no matter what now because of what's happened, and it's flipped. I think right now, in terms of as long as there's a buffer like that, Arsenal, I don't think we have a game where we can afford to drop now, which we didn't have before. I think Arsenal, that you'll see that when we play against Bournemouth, that we'll play with a little bit more freedom as well. What say you? Do you think the dynamic has changed in this race? The big blue shark is no longer swimming. It's
I think as long as they're within touching distance, as long as they're, a game or two and they're right on the shoulder, I'm not going to say that, we're definitely clear. We're definitely going to win. It's, I'm 100% certain, and that's maybe the PTSD talking. But yes, I do think the pressure is on. And we've done that to them. I think that, yes, we've had a poor run as far as performances are concerned. And Gabriel hasn't been there. But now that he's back, and the first performance he put in was that versus Villa, yeah, the pressure's on them for sure.
We never dropped off. If you look at back, if you really, we were all stressing there, right? As they were close, but we kept winning post Villa, right? So the Villa loss is when the panic set in, and it was from Villa to Villa was where we had that, and everybody, and we weren't being clinical. We were relying on our own goals, everything like that. But through it all, the Wolves' performance and all, we win. The slip up never came. In fact, they coughed up first. And for me, in a title race with them, that has never happened yet. We've always been the one that's coughed up first. Everyone was betting. Everyone thought that week was the week.
Yep.
And it happened in the reverse. And for me, I think that puts the pressure on them.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I know that you gotta go. If you have any last things to say, because you feel the game is starting in about 60 minutes from now, you have a watch along to do. So I gotta get to sleep, because then soon I'm gonna be fucking zombie by the time we kick off.
Gotta get back up for the Arsenal game.
And I gotta shoot myself up with Red Bull before I go on the terrace. Anyway, any last words, any kind of thoughts on what I said? Or
no, I think I definitely think that there are various areas of pressure, of course, but I think pressure's still on for Arsenal as well. We can't follow up. We can't follow up the Villa performance with a shit show at Bournemouth. So pressure's still on.
Yeah. Again, very true. But for the first time, I felt like I wasn't going to feature Arsenal as the under pressure team because I feel like we were the team of this week that benefited the most. All of our other rivals, I think all of them dropped points in the New Year fixtures.
Everyone, yeah,
everyone, and I couldn't.
So the pressure for us, the pressure for us has gone from like the water's here to now the water. You know, we're treading water again. We're not drowning. You know, it's not here. It's down to here. But for City, the pressure has risen for City for sure.
If we go up 7, I think this is actually at that point. I will before we close the show. Arsenal, please go 7 clear. I'm curious to see what happens because as much as the Chelsea thing, Cucurella's out, going to be suspended, and Caicedo be suspended. That could also be a trap. They might be like, "Oh, this is going to be fucking easy." No, they're under Pep. I don't think that they think that way.
Please,
please
overlook them. Please overlook them
in that game. Now, I actually think they're in a better position now. Actually, they get something with the shit show than it was when he was there and they were losing games. So
yeah, now there's no pressure.
Response from those players.
There's no pressure for Chelsea now. It's just no expectations, so no pressure.
High chance for Jarell Hato. I hope that whoever this dude is plays him because I grade him a lot. If he's going to play at left back Cucurella, you think that guy is a slouch. I want him at Arsenal, so I'm interested to see how he gets on against City as well. Anyway, thank you so much for jumping on. You are the man who came on here. I invited everybody. I put out the link to the world. You answered the call, so much appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate being on another channel, man. Thank you.
And Mashindra gives me 2 bulldogs.
French toast face? Is that what that is?
Oh, French toast face?
I have no idea what that is.
Anyway, guys, enjoy this week's games. Guys, check out. Actually, before you go, I'm going to big up the Cup Chasers. Go check out the Cup Chasers.
Oh, hey, thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, go check them out.
We'll be live all day.
And yeah, they'll be live all day. They're doing watch along, so go check it out. I wish if I was monetized, I would have given you the old. Although to be honest, 3 people would, as a redirect.
It's all good.
But nah, good. And by the way, yeah, go check out other videos that really came out today. Anton's tiers. I graded all 20 Premier League teams, and of course, I did the upset alert. Watch out, Man United. I think that they're the upset kings so far recently have been. Oh, agreed. That probably should have been the way it was, but I think Chelsea are looking out for themselves in that way as well. I think they knew that game was coming, and like that was a definite loss. So they had Maresca. There was too much. It was far gone. Anyway, guys. Also, yeah, I got Man United on upset alert, Liverpool on upset alert. Go check that out. I predicted all the games for this weekend. Yeah, it could. Bashindra, you're a gooner. Yeah. Come on, you gooners. It could have helped us. Let's see. It's going to be a very, very interesting weekend, as it is always. But this week, definitely tasty. Let's go ahead. Come on, you Gunners. Let's take care of Bournemouth. Anyway, guys, check it out. See you guys later.